The liver can begin to regenerate in just 10 days, without pills, without surgery. Just 3 plants which work only at night and only together. People with second or even third-degree fatty liver who had already been scheduled for a biopsy began drinking this infusion, and their numbers started to improve. And the strangest part? Almost no one talks about this. Not on television, not in hospitals. Even though doctors know fatty liver isn't just about weight. It's about inflammation, fluctuating blood sugar, a burnt-out thyroid, and eventually, it's about strokes or cancer. But it all begins with mild fatigue and a couple of pills for unexplained symptoms. Yet there's something important that only a few people know. Fat in the liver can be removed, and what's most surprising, it can be done at night while you sleep peacefully. Sounds like a fairy tale. I thought so too at first, but everything changed when I heard the story of a certain doctor. He's 85 years old, and he's devoted his entire life to just one mission: healing the liver. His name is Hans Popper. He never sought fame, never appeared on talk shows, never promoted miracle drugs. He simply treated people, honestly and with conviction. Even when all hope seemed lost, he created a simple herbal tincture made from just 3 components. Half a glass is taken before bed, and in the morning, you wake up feeling like a different person. No pain, no heaviness, no sense that something in your body is off. Why this tincture works, I'll explain shortly, along with the exact recipe. But first, let's talk about the truth that's been hidden from us for decades. Hans Popper was the first to prove that liver fat is not a life sentence. It's not something you have to live with forever. It can be reversed, without expensive medications and without surgery, all with the help of what grows around us, beneath our very feet. Popper believed the liver is a miraculous organ. It has the ability to fully regenerate. You just need to stop interfering with it and offer a bit of help. He spent his life fighting fatty liver, and one day he noticed a pattern. It's during the night while we sleep that the liver begins to cleanse itself. It shifts into recovery mode. Body temperature drops, metabolism changes, and toxins begin to gather. But the fat, it stays. It doesn't leave on its own. And that's where Popper found the solution. He identified specific plants that trigger fat breakdown during that exact nighttime phase. Not during the day, not in the morning, but precisely when the liver is most vulnerable and simultaneously most ready to heal. I'll tell you what's in the formula shortly, but first here's something important to understand. Liver fat doesn't just come from sausages, bacon, and sweets. Alcohol, of course, plays a role, but it's not the main enemy. The real cause is toxins and bile stagnation. When the liver is overloaded with harmful substances, it does what it can to protect the body. It begins turning those toxins into fat. That's its temporary way of isolating poison so it doesn't damage other organs. In doing so, the liver shields us, but the cost is heaviness, inflammation, and a chain of illnesses. Now imagine this. Every day you inhale polluted air, drink water with impurities, eat food from boxes and bags. Your body tries, but it can't keep up, and the liver is the first to suffer. It becomes overwhelmed, starts to drown, and fills with fat. This happens quietly, without a fever, without pain, just mild fatigue, brain fog, and a dull ache in your side. Seems harmless, but in truth, it's just the beginning. And from there, things only get worse. Doctors look at your test results and say, well, you know, it's just your age. Then they prescribe medication, meds your liver has to process again. But the real problem isn't age. It's stagnant bile, polluted lymph, and mitochondrial failure. Yes, the same mitochondria that power liver cells. Almost no one talks about this. But Popper knew. He understood that the liver doesn't need to be treated, it needs to be supported. Don't suppress the symptoms, activate the natural cleansing process. And that's where his tincture came in, quietly, with no magic tricks. Just 3 plants, which only work together, only at night, and only in the exact dosage. The first plant Popper always placed at the top of the list was milk thistle. Many people have heard of it, but almost no one uses it correctly. And yet, it's a true gift for the liver. Popper emphasized that it's not enough to just take milk thistle. You must do it right, as a water-based infusion, never with alcohol, and always in the evening, right before sleep. In this form, it literally washes the fatty film off liver cells and triggers regeneration. It's like the liver takes a deep breath and begins to cleanse itself. Next comes Immortelle. Its role is just as vital. It thins out thick, stagnant bile and sets it into motion, specifically at night, when the body is resting and the liver switches into detox mode. Without Immortelle, fat stays in place. But with it, it begins to dissolve. This plant works like a gentle yet persistent brush, clearing out blocked ducts, breaking up the stagnation, and letting the liver breathe freely. The third component is dandelion root, often underestimated and unfairly so. Popper called it the restorer. It helps liver cells not just survive, but rebuild themselves after damage. It's a natural hepatoprotector, a guardian that supports the liver in its toughest moments and triggers regeneration even when everything else has failed. When these 3 ingredients are combined, the most important nighttime cleansing phase begins. While you sleep, something quiet yet powerful happens inside the body. Fat is displaced, toxins are expelled, cells regenerate. No pain, no drugs, just plants and perfect timing. The tincture is easy to prepare, but precision matters. Even small deviations can weaken or nullify the effect. Here's the exact recipe. -1 tablespoon of milk thistle seeds, -1 tablespoon of Immortelle flowers, -1 tablespoon of crushed dandelion root. Pour 500 milliliters of boiling water over them. Let it steep in a thermos for at least 8 hours, best prepared at night. In the morning, strain the infusion and store it in the refrigerator, but for no more than 3 days. Drink 100 milliliters of warm infusion half an hour before bedtime. Don't wash it down with anything. Don't eat afterward. Do not combine it with medications, especially those that stress the liver, and absolutely no sugar, honey, or alcohol. Take it purely just as Popper intended. Then, and only then, will the tincture begin to work deeply, precisely, and without harm. On the first night, you might feel something unusual, a sensation of humming or bubbling inside. That's normal. It means the liver is starting to awaken and shift into action. After a couple of days, you may notice a feeling of lightness. Later, mental clarity may return, followed by a deep calmness in your body. And after about a week, that persistent morning heaviness might vanish. Your mood may stabilize, and your sleep could finally improve. But the most important change is the one you'll see in your blood tests. In many people, liver enzyme levels dropped by 20 to 30% in just a month. No 4 drips, no injections, only herbs and perfect timing. The most surprising thing is that this simple method was ignored for many years, even though its results were powerful and consistent. People with stage 2 or even stage 3 fatty liver, people who had already been advised to prepare for biopsy or even a transplant, began drinking this infusion, and their numbers slowly returned to normal. Hans Popper never chased fame. He was a doctor, not a celebrity. He didn't appear on shows, didn't sell courses, didn't promise miracles. He simply treated people. And that's precisely why he held no interest for those who profit off chronic conditions. After all, who benefits when someone gets healthy, especially at no cost? It's much easier to put them on pills for life. You'd be surprised, but the vast majority of people with fatty liver have never even heard of this method. because they aren't taught to listen to their bodies. They're taught to take pills, and those who speak differently are labeled as folk healers, alternative types, or even quacks. But now you know more. You understand that the body sometimes just needs a little help, and it will find its own way back to healing. And now, the most important question. Why does this only work at night? Why not in the morning, not during the day, not after dinner? Why did Papa insist that the tincture is only effective during sleep? Because it is precisely at night that the body enters recovery mode. The adrenal glands reduce cortisol production, and the liver, no longer occupied with digesting food, switches fully to deep detoxification. It's like cleaning a supermarket after closing hours. When the place is empty, everything can finally be scrubbed down to a shine. And if, at that exact moment, the bloodstream contains active compounds from the tincture, a gentle yet powerful fat-burning process begins. Fat stored in liver cells starts to break down. But it doesn't flood into the blood, it doesn't overwhelm the vessels. Instead, it is calmly removed via bile and the intestines, without pain and without sudden reactions. This is exactly why taking the tincture in the morning won't work. During the day, the liver is busy. It's serving digestion. At night, it takes care of itself. And that is the moment when it needs our help. Papa often said, the liver is like a woman. You can't force her, but if you give her quiet warmth and the right support, she will do more than any doctor ever could. You go to sleep and have no idea what's happening inside you. Real work is underway, subtle, invisible. The liver is burning excess fat, cleansing the blood, regenerating its own cells, but only if it's not interfered with, only if it's supported. Hundreds of people treated by Papa rid themselves of terrifying diagnoses they had been told were permanent. They stopped living in fear. They forgot the bitter taste in their mouths, the morning weakness, the dreaded word, cirrhosis. And it all began with a single cup of herbal infusion before bed, and you can do the same. It's not complicated, and it doesn't require money, only a small desire to take care of yourself. The tincture is not magic. It's not a cure-all. If you keep bombarding your liver with fatty foods, alcohol, toxins, and constant stress, it won't cope. But if you give it a chance, it will respond with gratitude. Try it. Just 14 days. Keep a simple journal. Write down how you sleep, how you feel, how your mood changes. After just a week, you may start to feel a lightness inside, and your liver will finally begin to breathe again. Remember, only one person in this world can truly cleanse your liver, and that person is you. Not pills, not doctors, not anyone else. Cleaning your liver. It's not about shortcuts. It's not about waiting for someone else to do it for you. It's about listening to your body, to the signals, to that quiet whisper inside that says, I'm tired. Help me. Most people will never hear that whisper. They'll mask it with coffee in the morning, sleeping pills at night, antacids, painkillers, energy drinks. They'll say it's age, that it's normal, but it's not. Fatty liver isn't a cosmetic issue. It's not just about numbers on a test. It's the slow fading of your body's main filter, and when the filter clogs, everything else starts to break. And yet, even then, the liver doesn't give up. It fights, quietly, tirelessly. Even when it's full of fat, inflammation, and toxins, it tries to protect you. But imagine how much more it could do if you just gave it a chance. A little warmth, a break from the overload, and one simple infusion at the right time. That's not folk medicine, that's biology. That's respect for the most hard-working organ in your body, the one that never asks for applause, the one that never stops. Papa never called himself a savior. He never promised miracles. He didn't need to, because his patients, the ones who followed his method, they felt it. in their energy, their digestion, their sleep, their peace of mind, and in their blood work. They didn't need to believe, they just needed to try.